Hi, all goddess Renata here, Intuitive Open Circle. This is my first one, and it became clear to me that I just had to make a choice, and then just put some time down, and then I'll record it. So I'm gonna get my phone into my Pivo here. So hold on just a moment. Wasn't totally prepared. There we go. Okay, and tap this again. You can see my lovely face. I'm here at Crystal Spirit. And I've been wanting to do this little gathering for quite a while. I have it all planned. So let's see how it goes. And as people join in, I will just let them on. But this may be the first time and we're just recording it and then I'll send it to you. Halfway through this today, I got here early. I just got into a slump. So I went next door. Speaking of synchronicity, I wasn't speaking of that, but I'm speaking of it now. I went next door to the restaurant, great Mexican food. And Brenda and her husband Manuel are looking for a place. And I just met a realtor that has this great program that's available for first time home buyers. So Manuel was just talking to me while I was waiting for my food or my coffee. I said, "Oh, that's why I met Kitty." So that's the new time frame. I want to share that with you because I all want us to start paying attention to that new coding and that new time frame. It's synchronicity. You can just be thinking about something and it'll show up in your space, something for you to see or to hear or to make a connection with something or a thing. It's pretty cool. So pay attention to that. And I'm not sure how this is going to go with maybe no one having questions. I suppose if, we all got on and we had questions and I knew how to work the chat, we could do that. But it's an open intuitive circle. So I'm just going to pull whatever Goddess Renata wants to channel. And then we'll just talk about that. I allotted 30 minutes. So I allotted 30 minutes for this. And I can tell if somebody else comes on. So let's see. Let's do the big card of the day, the big view of the day. It's kind of funny. I collect cards. So I have, yes, this is a big deck of cards. It's huge. So I did a nice, what do you call it, the separation of it just a bit ago. Sometimes I'll just throw cards on the floor and see what comes up. But so I'm going to go ahead and drop some down, and then I'll just get it instinct, and let's pull it, and then we'll talk about that number and the energy of that number. And you can, again, if there's people out there that want to ask questions as I'm talking about the numbers, please do. Okay, I get this one first. So let's talk about this one. Ooh, 9 of diamonds. So this is a 9 year, right? 2025. We just came from an 8 year. We're just adding up. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 5. 2025 is a 9 year. We pulled the 9 of diamonds, and diamonds is all about value. Like, what do you value in your life? 9 is also at the end of a cycle, just as maybe the ace or the jack or the one are all represented by new beginnings or at the beginning of the cycle. Cool, huh? And in fact, if you think about the next step in the after the 9 energy would be in numerology, the cards that would relate to that would be the A, so the ace, so one, and the J, right? The jack of cards that would relate to it too, AJT, and then T would relate to it as well. So, think about this. Talking about 9 being closure, but I did move ahead to the 1, AJS, as represented in that Pythagorean theory format that I utilize. So AJS. So S, if that's the first letter in your name, like Sally, Sue, Sam. S, if you fill it in, you can get a upside down infinity or right side up infinity, but a vertical infinity, right? But it's also like 2 heads of a snake, and it's also behind and front. right? So it's also like an eight as well. So that idea of that's your success letter. So being able to integrate your energy is super important, whatever that means to you. So let's go at J. So if you got a J, look at that hook in the back. So taking, right, J, taking your wisdom with you and bringing it up, getting new insights from source, your connection, and then bringing it back down and then sharing it. Actually, you kind of see where you ground it, that J down, connection up, comes down the spine, let's say. The feet grounds it, and then it comes back up, goes out because there's an opening. And then it goes out, then it comes back, recirculated, new energy, moving down, grounding it out, up. And A is just YMCA. It's fun to play at the YMCA. I know I continually date myself with things that I remember, like commercials, like is it Live or is it Memorex? I'm sure some of you remember that one. And when E.F. Hutton speaks, everybody listens. Yeah, okay. I tell it to my George all the time. You know, he's just got that sense of royalty. He has that eight energy. I mean, I'm digressing. I went like from nine, how it's an ending, and then I'm talking about AJS in the beginning. And if your first letter of your name starts with the AJ or S, I gave an example of the S, you know, how that's your success letter. In fact, S, success, right? Stability, safety. And then, and J, so jubilant, joy, jump, just happy, right? And then the A, you know, it's just like initiating. You know, you get an A, go to the head of the class. So if any of that feels right for you or anybody else you know, you just learned a nugget of wisdom about the beginning letters, the ending letters, like the nine and the numbers, and the beginning letters and numbers, you connect them with one. And I said, what? It's the success letter of your name. So you could have a great conversation with someone just about that. So not only is synchronicity huge in this 9 year of letting go, and having a clean slate, timing, synchronicity and timing is super important. And then the idea of letting go. And then allow your flow to come to you. Allow your flow to knock on your door. And then you open the door and go, what do you want? And you're like, oh, it's you. I used to think, oh, it's you would be like a big thing, you know, like a fall down from the sky. But it doesn't. It really kind of falls up from here and then it meets that reflection and it comes together and you go, sometimes I go, aha, oh, aha. So I digress, but I do that a lot though, because it's just fun to make connections. And once you get a hold of a lot of the concepts that I utilize in my life to make it more graceful, you'll do that too. It's kind of fun. It's fun when you start to see like 111, 222, 333, 444, 555, right? My husband and I make you know, a kind of a game of it. Like we make a game of the animals. We live around nature. We have a big, it's not a big reserve, but you know, in Oakport, there's lots of, you know, quietness and woods and all of that. And in fact, we live in Lakewood. And so when we first moved there some 20 years ago, I'm driving around going, God, there sure are lots of lakes and woods. Lakewood. Absolutely. So we, you know, we make a connection, have fun with seeing 555, 444, 333, 222, 11, 11, 12, 12, 1, 1, 1, all those synchronistic numbers, which means you're just, to me, to us, and now to you, if you don't have a thought about that, it means that you're plugged into a new timeline. And so that idea of flowing, where you're going downhill with your floaty, enjoying the scenery as you go down and you're comfortable, that's what happens for you. I mean, floating uphill with your in your floaty is a little bit challenging. But if you manage to do that, there might be a little bit of more effort required. I don't know. Check it out. I like the idea of my flow finding me, knocking on my door, and then I'm go, oh, oh, there you are. So I used to think, oh, there you are was a big thing that would come down, but it really comes up and you just recognize it. It's like a resonance. It's like a match. It's like the key fits in the keyhole. So that 9 is about, it's a humanitarian energy. Maybe because it encompasses all the energies. So when I say encompasses all the energies, 1 is the initiating energy. Yeah. 2 is the unifying energy. I like to say you're unifying, outside with inside. 3 is the creation energy. 4 has a grounding energy, like a stabilizing energy, an earthing energy. Oh, right. So the acronym for 4, DMV. DMV. And the 5th letter is like the new plug-in because you've grounded 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 5 is represented by the acronym NEW, and that's its placement in the Pythagorean system that I use for numerology. So NEW, by the way, so we talked about the first letter being your success letter, AJS, if those are your letters, okay? And let's just use the acronym for 5, NEW. So if your 5th letter in your name, which is your warning letter, if your 5th letter in your name is it's your warning letter, and if it's NEW, because we'll use that. So N, what could that be? New, never, nauseating, nantabulous, but that's not a word, is it? Fantabulous is, but I can't say nantabulous. Nancy fancy, I guess you could make a saying out of it. And so E for excellent, external, ecstasy, right? And maybe if you did too much of that, that could be a warning letter for you because you're like really spacing out way too much. And then W is like, wow, wow, wonderful. But in terms of a warning letter, what could that possibly mean? I mean, it could mean that, you're not really grounding things enough in like with the W, bringing it down, grounding it, integrating it, bringing it up, down and up. Maybe too much information. You can hold 2 different valleys. Think of the W, 2 V's together. So a warning letter about that could be what? That you just hold, I'm talking generically, but you hold too much energy and you don't ground it, like too much. And the E could be maybe that you haven't applied 1 through 4 well enough to elevate, to plug into a new energy, because that could be your warning letter. You following me? And if your 5th letter, which represents the warning letter, is an N, just very similar to the W, but possibly just not trusting. There's that N for no, never, Nancy. I could say nababulous, but it's fabulous, isn't it? So like having that information come down and then not really trusting that. Isn't that interesting? No, how that's related to how it looks, the N word, and words that you start with N. 5th letter. So if it's an N, hypothetically, then it could mean that you're just not trusting that what comes down and you don't ground it totally. So when it goes up, it's not real clear. It's like one side's a downside V and the other side's an upside V. Yeah, N. I don't sign, but there's that V there. And there's the other V, right? No, the capital. So maybe not trusting your reflections. I just kind of made that up. But when you get a sense of what the numbers look like, okay, they're shaped like the S, the L, love, leave, laughter. Information comes in and goes out. It's, one of the right angles of a square, right? A connection. So you can intuit all the information that you have available to you about the shape of the letters and then what the letters relate to in terms of the numbers 1 to 9. So L, which would be 3, CLU, 3. I don't have any sort of saying with the 3rd letter in the name. The 1st letter of the name, The fifth, we talked about the NEW, and then six, which would be like FOX. So that's the acronym for six, FOX. And the sixth letter is like your health letter. And it just occurred to me, I made to reverse that. The fifth one may be your health letter, and the sixth one may be your warning letter. But either way, you need to intuit that by the shape of the letters and the vibration of the number. So let's say that I had it correct the first time. Okay. So FOX. Well, X is kind of crossroads, right? Dotting your I's and crossing your T's, but also making a true connection, as above, so below on the right, as above, so below on the left. That's the X. I mean, even I remember learning years ago about balancing your energies, left and right brain hemisphere, and doing that in a very balanced way with just the regular activities of daily living. So, for instance, getting in the car, seatbelt, right? Oh, if you're driving. So left over right. Yeah. So you're in balance because you've just done one X. You want to balance that right over left, right? Even when you find yourself at the computer, I guess here's a little exercise to help you integrate the energy and see how I moved from closure and what the numbers are and the success letter, first letter of your name, just seeing if people are paying attention. Fifth letter is warning letter. Sixth letter is health letter in your name. And then I discussed how I might have reversed the fifth and sixth, but we'll do it like the fifth is the warning letter and six is the health letter. We talked about X. And then I was giving you an exercise, like when you get in your car. My nose has been stuffy like for a couple of days. We went to see that Bob Dylan movie with Timothy Chalamet. I know he's a young kid, but he's cute. He did a good job. Bob Dylan was in my genre. I mean, he was in the background. I wasn't like into folk music, but when I came home, because I'm like, oh, I feel like I should. I mean, I remember some of the jokes about him because his voice is kind of lazy. I don't sing, so I don't know, but I'm always trying to sing. Um, and so I put on, my Spotify, I pulled up Bob Dylan's greatest hits. I'm like, know that one, know that. Oh, that's him too. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I get no endorsement for any of this, but it was great. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I appreciated some of the old music. I listened to some of the words. And watching the movie too is interesting. That whole idea of acting, how we really are actors on the stage called our life. Isn't that not the deal? And as we learn to value all the things that we've learned and all the wisdom, and we learn to drop it like it's hot, all the stuff that doesn't work for us, and trust as we move forward, using all of our wisdom that's available for us, not looking for someone to deliver us, not looking to seek out something better than us. I call that carrot dangling. I don't know why that bugs me, but it just seems so counterproductive or counterintuitive to ask someone else what they think about your journey. I mean, it's okay to get opinions, but you've heard that before. Opinions are like, buttholes. Everybody has one. So how much do you want to really value someone else's opinion? I mean, even mine, right? But 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 I've learned to value mine own opinion, mine own, been a stuffy nose and then not talking right. My own. I've learned to value my own opinion. I've learned to value me, not so much my opinion, because I can be like, my authority. Do you know what I mean? I can want to have it the highway, only my way. So I mean, that's a big part of mastery in this lifetime and on this earth plane at this time with what we're going through. No more veil. Spiritual sovereignty is the deal. What does it mean? You turn around left to the left 5 times and to the right 5 times and you spin on the top. That's not true. None of that's true. But it's challenging to like move beyond that. It just can be challenging to move beyond that. So one of the main reasons as I'm speaking with you now, why I wanted to have a community and invite others to participate in my open intuitive circle, because it's an open circle. Like that's how we all need to be. Once your flow has found you and you decided to open up the door with the key, put it in the keyhole and open the door, you're open, and a circle is inclusive. You don't have to close it. So open circle, closed circle, open circle. My space is, cozy and intimate here at Crystal Spirit. So what I'm really requesting, if we do a Zoom one, it's easy to set up because that's what I'm doing right now. And we can extend that instead of just for a half hour. I might bring my Mac in and then we can have, we can have 15, 20 people. That would be great because I know people have questions. And I'm excited to answer them based on using my inner wisdom sayings and whatever Goddess Renata channels in. I did pull a few cards earlier, and it feels like I don't know if we have any more people. I don't want to click up here and see because I think then I might lose you. So let's just. I didn't plan a lot. The bigger picture reading is what it's called. We're talking about letting go and moving forward, and then we're getting a little bit of breakdown about the relationship of what the numbers look like, their number, and visual representation, and how to utilize that based on first letter in your name, success letter, fifth letter, warning letter, sixth letter, health letter. I shared that wisdom with you, so you've got that. You can take that, integrate it, have fun. And then, so I pulled a few cards. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I believe. So let me go ahead and grab these. They're my inner wisdom cards. Da, da, da. Okay, I got these. I got these. So let's go with this first one. Learned wisdom is earned wisdom, and that's a 4. And I was just talking about that. I feel the cough coming on. Excuse me. Learned wisdom is earned wisdom. So bring everything you know that's gotten you to this point, utilize it. Utilize it. I'm going to take a sniff of grapefruit. And after I'm done, I meant to go use some of the essential oils we have here at Crystal Spirit. Tea tree is an excellent one for, down the nose. And you can use a little bit of iodine too. Just stuffy. And I've been stuffy since we came from the movie theater. But I'm noticing too with all the geomagnetic storms, all the solar flares, and I've read a couple articles on that. I don't really understand them, but my body can feel it more sore, not sleeping as well. Maybe if you're prone to headaches, more headaches, joints, achy hips. I pay attention to which side is sore in my body, if it's the left side or the right side. The right side to me, the way I learned and studied is the letting go side, that more the male energy, and the left side is the way I learned was more the feminine embracing. So I tend to be having a little more of the hip challenges on the left side, embracing. So I've been stretching more. Doesn't that sound gross when somebody is? I've been stretching more and just paying attention to my temple because there is a big part of just grounding where I'm at, and that's for you too. It is important to integrate. So, the letting go process, whether you're doing a physical detox, an emotional detox, a mental detox, or a spiritual detox, or all those together, letting go, knowing that's what you're doing, allow the newness to flow in, be patient, be kind to yourself, and loving to yourself. Even if that doesn't come easy. And even feeling, like I said, stuffy. So when I think I feel stuffy, I start thinking stomach energy, digesting energy, so stomach energy. And then there's just lots of stuff happening. So a lot of you, I know, are real sensitive. So you may feel that in your solar plexus. I've got some sparkling water, and then I put a little baking soda in it. So if your system is acid, your blood is acid, and oxygen in that doesn't survive as well in an acid condition. And so that's where all that itis comes from. So pay attention. All right. Let's do the other card. Oh, this is my God mints. Gratitude on demand. Gratitude on demand. and that's 9. So that goes along with our synchronistic big picture of the day, 9 of diamonds. When you learn to let go, open the door to your flow, it's like you have my flow on demand. And how many streams are there now on our TV that we pay for? It's the same thing that we energetically pay for, these new streams. We can just tune our frequency to them. Boom, just like that. Maybe not with our finger, because I don't know how to do that with my finger unless you're giving someone the finger. And that would tune that energy, like, get away from me. Sometimes that's appropriate. But generally, like, tuning is the thoughts. What kind of thoughts are you maintaining every day? Every second of every day. Like, what are you saying to yourself? It's not always love and light, like, I love you, I love you. Sometimes you want to say to yourself, self, we are not doing that right now. We are just moving ahead to a new level. Okay, so hush. Hush, like a little puppet show. We're moving to a new level. That's discipline. It's maturity. Just like you don't show up to your job like really late 2 or 3 times in a row and expect to still have that job. And I use that for an example because that was my big challenge in corporate America. Not being self-employed. And corporate America was, for me, what was like, I worked in retail, Fredericks, Nordstrom's, old school, right? And then I went to massage school, healing arts practitioner, had my own practice for a long time. So all that to say is, bring along all your wisdom. You can shift your frequency at will in terms of your thoughts. And loving yourself is not all make love and light. Sometimes you want to embrace the good, bad, ugly, and all in between of yourself and be good with that. That's part of that harmonizing and integrating. Because in authenticity, that just rang nicely, did it not? In authenticity, for a lot of us, can be totally felt, seen, felt, heard. You can't really fake. But do trust that fake it till you make it kind of idea. When I say that, it really is about the discipline. So pay attention to the little thoughts and little ditties that you tell yourself, and to the little songs that you play in your head that you hear on the radio. Music is wonderful, but it's meant to harmonize. I was thinking about this song with Otis Redding. Sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Ain't nothing gonna happen. And I was saying that to my friend Maria. She's been on my show before, Conversations with Goddess Renata and Friends. I was saying to her, like, well, wonder why people get mindless when they go around singing little ditties like that. Nothing against Otis Redding, not at all. But that was just an example, and I think we can hear lots of examples. So don't be paranoid. Love the music you love, but 80%, I'd say even 90% of the time, the stuff that's going through your head, if it doesn't automatically be about love you, learn you, integrate you, up level you, be that, love that, bag of chips and all of that, change it. Like when you're training a dog, drop it. Yeah, that's the level of focus that's so important. What else do we have? We've got 3 more sayings and we've got a card. So let's do the card because we haven't talked about the 8 of spades, except for I mentioned that my George is an 8. That's about power. And when 8 is when you're like your life path number or in your core numbers, um, personal expression, personality, heart's desire, or life path, when those are your 4 core numbers that we talk about when we do the numbers as a base. 8 was last year, 2024, right? 2, 2 plus 4, 8. We're just adding. Messes people up all the time. We're just adding. So that is about balance. As above, so below. So whatever you're feeling on the inside, that's why I said you have to be authentic. Because this journey is about you with you, your purpose. If you don't know what your purpose is, you can't share it. It's not like your purpose is some absolute thing and this is the only thing it can be. It can morph and change over time. We're creating new timelines. Not only are we in old ones letting go, maybe sometime I'll share the intense dream I had this morning about a knife, and interesting. And then my George, I was sharing that with him. He says, "Oh, I dreamt about a knife too. I was saving someone. I was kind of saving someone too in a dream. I don't need to go into details, but maybe next time we'll talk about dreams. Kind of fascinating. Mine has started to open up tremendously. I've always been a dreamer, and that's one of my tools. And maybe a lot of you have been, but I'm starting to uh, become more masterful with that particular tool. There you go. It's fun. So eight, and it's a spade. So spades are about work and health. So we're doing a collective message. So work and health is a big deal. Balancing that, learning that your flow in terms of work and health, whatever it is that you need to experience, whatever permission slips you give yourself, all those things will come to you if you but put your key in the keyhole and open the door and let it flow. And if what you are noticing outside of you starts to feel out of balance, because that's the energy of eight, no matter what side you have it on, the yin and yang, they all blend in too. So you're the centerpiece. You're the centerpiece in that eight energy. And I watched my George, like work with that energy intensely in his past marriage. And now we've been together married 38 years, and I've watched him grow, and he's watched me grow. It's an amazing thing when two people manage to do that um, simultaneously. It's pretty amazing. And yes, sometimes we complete each other's sentences. That's happening when you have a deeper level of intimacy. That's all of us, and intimacy, whether you're a good friend or a family friend, but that intimacy, that connection, that's what's going on. So I really encourage myself and others not to doubt those things that come through you and you hear them. Sit with them. I have no idea what our time is, but I can talk pretty fast. I kind of want to look up at the top, so let me kind of see. We're still recording. We'll just go a little. Oh, it's 3:06, so we're just about a little bit over, but I started a little bit late. I like to stay on time. This is fun. Are you enjoying yourself? Okay. I like it. So I've got three sayings, and we'll end with those. I'm going to go ahead and do like this. And nobody's raising their hand, but I don't pretend like people are raising their hand, like, oh, this one first. I love this one. The no is one thing, but the experience of the no is another. Let's do that one again. I love that. The no is one thing, but the experience of the no is another. That was Goddess Renata. Oh, that's me. We actually sell these blank cards. And until I publish, I've got like 5 decks ready to go. Until I actually publish them in some other way, I've been buying these at the store. We have them in red and green, or red and blue. We did at least last year. So that's one of them. I like that, huh? The experience of the no is what's deep. That's like gnosis. Like people ask, how do you know that? And you're just like, well, I just know. Knowing hits you where? Check that out with yourself. It's a new coding. Where does knowing hit you? Does it hit you in your solar plexus and your heart and your shoulders? This past intuitive fair, I talked with people that I would ask them that question, even young people, you know. And one was like, yeah, shoulders, she gets heavy with other people's energy. Check out how that is for you when you get up in the morning and then you get your day going, whether you have roommates or not, driving on the freeway, in the elevator, getting your coffee. Start paying attention. Notice how you feel, where you feel that heaviness. And as soon as you recognize that that energy is not yours, you can disclaim it, discreate it. That is not mine. A few of you, I did share the emotional parasite release, and I'll do that at some time, okay? Fairly soon on one of our next little Zoom meetings. All right, let's see what the next one is. Let's do this one. Prepare your intentions into a juicy stew of delight. A lot of us wait to see how bad it's going to get, like waiting for the other shoe to drop or the axe to drop. You know what I'm saying? So this is reflecting, prepare your intentions into a juicy stew of delight. So how good can it get for you? Cynthia Sue Larson, who I follow, and I love, the Mandela effect. And that was the one thing that I take from her all the time. She reminds me, she comes across my mind's eye. It's like, how good can it get for you? Yeah, there's going to be stuff that's, funky. Even how good can that get? How good can that get in terms of it dissolving? How good can it get that you can go to a solution quickly without losing much sleep? And if you do, you're appreciative that you got to that solution quickly, and then you up level by being, appreciative of your ability to be patient and wait. See, it all comes together about that self love, self respect, self authority, self autonomy, sovereignty. You get to choose it. That's what's so challenging because we've been focused a lot on the outside. Okay, what's the last card I want to leave with? New word expression for sugar. Even though too much sugar is kind of toxic, we all know that. There's sugar and salt in everything. If you start reading the back of labels, but once you do, you have your favorite stuff. And if you're like my friend Lisa Ann, you cook a lot of stuff. But George and I don't do that. We just read the back. New word expression for sugar. Sassy, unique, gracious, aligned, and ready. Sassy, unique, gracious, aligned, and ready. That's Goddess Renata. And this is Goddess Renata. We're a little bit after the half hour. All right. Big hugs to all of you. Let's end our session now. And I'll see you next week, okay? And then I'll be sending out this recording to you all that received the initial invitation. All right. This is Goddess Renata from the Open Intuitive Circle down at Crystal Spirit Spiritual Center on Wednesdays. Bye for now.